The secretary lingered at the threshold of my office, shoulders tight, breath shallow, like a man approaching a sleeping tiger and praying it stayed asleep. To waste more words on he delivered the update about the delayed meeting in a trembling voice, and I dismissed it with a curt nod. Delays irritated me, but not enough to waste more words on. He should have left then. Instead, he placed a sealed envelope on my desk with the caution of someone setting down a live explosive. The moment he fled, the room felt heavier. Another letter. The fourth in a month. Each one carried the same subject. Adira, my daughter. A child who should have meant something to me, but never did. 17 years had passed, and her face had blurred into a vague outline. More memory than person, more obligation than blood. I had never tried to know her, never cared to. The world had taken the only woman I ever loved, and with her went every emotion I possessed. After that, grief became a familiar companion, and indifference became armor. So these letters, warnings, threats, desperate pleas, I never opened them. Whether she breathed or not changed nothing in my world. One more loss would barely register. I turned the envelope over in my hand, feeling the weight of it but not the meaning. The office was silent except for the soft hum of the air conditioner and the distant murmur of employees who feared my presence more than they respected it. Then came a sharp knock, firm, impatient, cutting through the quiet like a blade. And just like that, the fragile stillness shattered. Anil entered without knocking, the way only someone who had known me since childhood still dared to. His presence cut through the room with the same force as the sharp knock that had preceded him. I acknowledged him with a single word, nothing more, my tone as flat as the polished surface of my desk. His gaze went straight to the envelope lying between us. Of course it did. Only he and our father knew the truth about Adira, knew the secret I had buried so deep that even the family name pretended she didn't exist. Suspicion flickered across his face, tightening his jaw. When I didn't offer an explanation, he reached forward and snatched the letter from my hand. The paper tore open with a violent rip that echoed louder than it should have. As he read, the transformation was immediate. Shock carved itself into Anil's features, followed swiftly by a fury that burned hot and personal. His breath grew uneven, his shoulders rigid with disbelief. To him, this wasn't just another envelope. It was a wound, one I had allowed to fester for years. He demanded answers, but I gave him nothing. My indifference only fueled his anger, pushing him to the edge of something reckless. The weight of 17 years of silence pressed between us, thick and suffocating. He looked at me then, not as a brother, but as a man staring at someone he no longer recognized, someone he could no longer defend. And in that moment, I knew exactly where he was going next. To our father. To the one person whose disappointment still had the power to shake the foundations of this house. And that night, Anil did exactly what he had threatened. He walked into the living room and dropped the truth in the center of the family like a lit match tossed into dry grass. Every head turned toward me as if pulled by the same invisible force. Shock rippled through the room, widening eyes, tightening throats, stirring. A niece, a granddaughter, a bloodline hidden in plain sight. The revelation rearranged the air itself. It felt heavier, charged, as though the walls were holding their breath. But no one spoke to me. Not a single question, not a single accusation, not even a murmur directed my way. They whispered to each other, but never to me. Their glances slid across my face and then away again, as if eye contact alone might provoke something dangerous. Fear had always been the unspoken language of this house, and tonight it was louder than the truth itself. I stood there, unmoving, watching the shock settle into their bones. They didn't know whether to be horrified by the secret or by the man who had kept it, and in that moment it became painfully clear. They feared me more than the lie I had lived.